On October 12, 1972, a Uruguayan Air Force plane carrying 45 passengers and crew, including a rugby team, embarked on a journey that would take a tragic turn. As the plane soared above the Andes, sudden turbulence gripped the aircraft, tossing it violently in the unforgiving air. The pilot, struggling to regain control, misjudged the distance to the mountains, and in a heart-wrenching moment, the plane slammed into the icy side of a peak, leaving a trail of wreckage and silence. Out of the initial 45 passengers, 33 would survive the initial impact. Shortly after the plane crash, an avalanche buried the fuselage of the plane, trapping many of the survivors inside. They had to dig themselves out, using whatever tools they could find, including their bare hands. It is reported that 8 more survivors perished during this disaster. The Andes Mountains are a harsh and unforgiving environment, with temperatures that can drop to as low as -20 degrees Celsius, -4 degrees Fahrenheit. The survivors of the crash were ill-equipped to deal with this kind of cold, and many of them suffered from hypothermia and frostbite. To stay warm, the survivors huddled together for warmth and built makeshift shelters out of the wreckage of the plane. They also used whatever clothing they could find to insulate themselves from the cold. The survivors were also without water when the plane crashed. They were forced to melt snow and ice for drinking water. However, this was a difficult and time-consuming process, and they often went without water for days at a time. The survivors initially tried to survive on the food that they had with them when the plane crashed. However, their supplies quickly ran out. They were forced to ration their food, and they eventually became very hungry and weak. After several days, they began to consider cannibalism as a way to survive. They knew that it was a taboo and a moral dilemma, but they also knew that they would die if they did not do something. On the 17th day after the initial crash, another avalanche struck the survivors' makeshift shelter, taking the lives of even more survivors. It is important to note that the information about the second avalanche is uncertain. Some sources suggest that as many as 12 people may have perished in the second avalanche, while others suggest that no one perished. The discrepancy in the numbers is likely due to the fact that the survivors were in a state of shock and trauma, and they may not have been able to accurately count the number of dead. What is known is that ultimately 9 more survivors would perish from either this avalanche or from hardship before their rescue. The survivors of the Andes plane crash encountered wild animals during their time in the mountains. They reported seeing condors, foxes, and other small animals. They also reported seeing a puma, which is a large cat native to the Andes Mountains. The puma was never aggressive towards the survivors, but they did keep a respectful distance from it. The crash site, a desolate expanse of snow and ice, became the crucible where the survivors would face their greatest decision. Among them were Nando Parrado and Roberto Canessa, 2 young men who would emerge as beacons of hope amidst the despair. Recognizing the dire situation, they volunteered for a perilous mission, to trek through the treacherous terrain in search of help. With meager supplies and unwavering determination, Parrado and Canessa set off on their arduous journey. They braved biting winds, sub-zero temperatures, and treacherous crevasses, their bodies weakened by hunger and exhaustion. Yet they pressed on, driven by the unwavering belief that their survival hinged on reaching Chile. After days of grueling struggle, Parrado and Canessa finally reached the Chilean border, where officials were in disbelief and relief. Their story, a testament to their resilience and unwavering hope, quickly spread, igniting a rescue operation that would bring salvation to their stranded comrades. On December 23, 1972, rescue helicopters swooped down upon the crash site, their rotors churning with anticipation. From the icy grip of the Andes, 16 survivors emerged after a 72-day battle against the elements. The ordeal had taken its toll, claiming the lives of many, but those who remained had conquered the impossible. The story of the Andes plane crash would be immortalized in the book and film Alive, a poignant account of human resilience and the unyielding will to survive. The survivors' ordeal served as a stark reminder of the indomitable human spirit, capable of enduring unimaginable hardships and emerging stronger from the ashes of despair. If you enjoyed this true survival story, please like, share, and subscribe.